Before I do a walk around with you on this car, I want to show you what the Blue Bomb is doing. This causes me concern because other drivers do not appreciate this. This thing has a lot of power, but I want to show you what this issue is right now. You probably noticed in the previous video when I started this up and drove it off the tow dolly, we had black smoke blowing out of it. You might say, well, that's not very much smoke, but boy, when you go out on the road and floor this thing, it leaves a cloud of black smoke behind it. I don't think I need to say any more. We got to deal with this issue right now. And the other problem I'm going to have to deal with right away on the Blue Bomb here is some bent hood hinges. I can't even hardly get this hood open. You can see here the damage it caused. Unfortunately, David, when he was going to get fuel for this car just before I came to get it, the hood flew open when he was driving. Oh, he was just devastated. The hood flew up, it bent the corners. You can see the other corner is a little bit more severe. But when it bent these corners, it also bent the hinges. So I can't really get the hood open and closed easily without creating more damage here. So before I do a lot more work on this car, I'm going to have to replace the hinges or the hood in the hinges, depending upon whether or not I want to try to fix these dents in the corners here. You have a hood fly open. The hood may not look too bad, but the hinges get all tweaked. It's very hard to get the hood open and closed properly. And the W126, you got to be careful because these corners can come down and break the windshield. So we're going to work this hood up, get it to a point where we can see whether it's going to clear these two alignment pins so we can get this hood opened a little more easily. Okay, let's give it a shot. Go ahead and lift up on the... Yeah, you pull forward on it. Pull forward on the hood. It's stuck. No. All right. Pull it. There we go. Okay. Okay, stop. Is your corner? Yeah, your corner's digging in there. Okay, hold on. Okay, now pull forward on the hood. Okay, up, up, up. That's the way. Okay, it's hitting the body over here, but go ahead. Take it forward. Are you clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, it's really tweaked. Okay, take it up. Shoot. Oh, gee. You can see how bad it is here and here. It's, cracked the aluminum. You can obviously see from how far back the hood is sitting that these hinges are really tweaked. So it may be that I'll just go ahead and remove the hood, because I'm going to have to replace hood hinges. You just can't straighten these out once they've been deformed like this. The next phase in this operation is to pull a couple of hoods. This silver 300 SD has a broken hood hinge, and I'm just tired of trying to get the hood open and closed. And then the Blue Bomb over there has a hood that flew open while the car was going down the road, and it severely bent those hood hinges. So I don't want to be opening and closing that hood anymore, causing more damage than is already there. So that hood's coming off so I can clean and work on that engine. This hood's coming off so later today I can roll this one in the shop and start pulling the engine up. This car is not going to be saved, but I am going to save the engine. The transmission is supposed to be no good, so I probably won't be saving the transmission. But there's a lot of parts on this car that could go to help restore either one or two of these other four. First thing I do when I pull one of these W126 hood hinges is to thoroughly lubricate these two pins right here with some really good rust penetrant. And we're going to have to drive these pins out and lift the hood off very carefully. This is a two-man operation. You'll get to see that a little later in this video. But I'm going to lubricate that one. And we'll soak these up. I'm going to let this sit for about a half hour before I try to drive the pins out. And then we'll come over to the blue one and lubricate these pins as well. Man, that's got a lot of damage. So, a word to the wise when you're driving one of these to make sure that latch completely locks. Sometimes those safety catches will slip and the hood will come up while you're driving. Fortunately for the owner, he wasn't going that fast, but it sure did scare the daylights out of him when it happened. Okay, I'll come back in about a half hour and we'll punch these pins out and remove both these hoods. You can see there's two pins that hold the hood to the hinges on each side, and you've got this clip that holds the pin in place. I'm going to get both these clips off, and then I'm going to just hammer on these pins to make sure they're loose before I ask for my helper to come out and help me lift this hood off. Do not try to do it by yourself. Okay, that one's loose. And I'll just leave it in this position, and I'll get the other one ready. You have to get these clips kind of turned around so that you can pull them out like that. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and tap on this one. Oh yeah, that one's loose. I'll just tap it back and forth. I want these real loose so they're easy to pull out when we get ready to lift the hood off the car. Now I'll just go over and do it to the other side of the silver car and do it to all four pins on the blue bomb. What I'm going to show you first is very important, and that's you want a couple pieces of foam like this. You want to be able to put the foam underneath the corners of the hood when you pull the pins and set it down. This could be true on any of those old Mercedes where you're removing the hood. Get some foam like this. Or if you don't have foam, get some cardboard and fold it over 5 or 6 times so you have some sort of padding. This will protect the corner of the hood. It will also protect the windshield. It's very easy to slip, and that corner is going to go in and going to just crack that windshield. So I'll start out by getting Jerson in here. He's going to hold the hood up while I punch these 2 pins out. And then he'll go over to the other side and we'll go over there and get those 2 pins out, and then both of us will take this hood off and take it somewhere very safe, out of the way. Okay, come on in. Okay, hang on to it while I get those pins out. You see how nice these come out after you lubricate them? Mm-hmm. So is that resting on the foam okay over there?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's get this piece of foam in. All right, I've got it. You come on over here.
You want to punch it out? Or you
Yeah,
want to hold it?
you can hold it and I'll punch it out. That was easy. All right, hang on to it. All right, let's lift straight up and back a little bit. Okay, twist it a little bit. It's bound in on this side. Okay, you got it? I'm going to give it a little jerk.
Yeah, it's just tight.
Okay, there we go. You can see why you don't want to do this on your own. When checking over the blue bomb, the most important thing to me outside of rust is the mileage on these things. When you can find one of these old diesels with 150,000 miles on it, you're way ahead of the game in terms of restoring the car. And so is the case with this one. It says 156,000 miles. I did take it out for a spin around the patch, and the odometer is working, and of course the steering wheel texture confirms. that this is a low mileage car. Now there is a problem with binding in the steering box that we're going to have to address, but if you look at the interior, the blue leather is okay. It's a little bit dried out. We're going to put some leather conditioner on this to see if we can get it softened out some. You know, some of the pieces in here, you look around, like some of this door trim, even the shift wood trim, you know, it's got cracks in it, but I've got some really good pieces on some of these other cars. This thing has the potential to become a really nice restored car. I'm going to fire this one up for you, and we'll look together at some initial indicators. Jerson and I noticed this immediately when we removed the hood. See this raised ridge around the valve cover? That is what you see on a factory remanufactured engine. So who knows, maybe this engine's been replaced and even has less mileage. I might want to run a VIN check at the dealer to see if I can find any history about an engine replacement in this car when it was under warranty. Okay, I'm going to fire it up. Okay, right away, if you've been around these diesels, you can tell this has a healthy note to it. Obviously, the motor mounts are a little tired, but we've got a couple of bad fuel leaks right here on these fuel injector retard hoses. You know, I harp on this all the time. Open the hood when you go get fuel in your old diesel. Check for this issue, because you could be going down the road getting terrible fuel economy and dumping diesel all over the road. This is a very common issue that I see, far more common than I should. Let's loosen up the cap and do a cap dance test. That's pretty good. It's not jumping all over the place. But I'm not going to be able to run this very much longer with this leak, so we're going to have to replace a couple of these hoses. But I think what I'll do at this point is go ahead and clean this engine off and get it into the shop and try to figure out why it's smoking so badly. The hoods are off, the engines are clean, they're both in the shop. One's going to be a keeper and one's going to be a donor. Now the real fun begins.